Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another planty video. My name is Shannon and this is Planted 386. If this is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by and giving my small channel a chance. I hope you will consider subscribing by the end. And if you're returning, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. This little community that we are building here on this platform means so much to my soul. It is so good to my soul, and I always look forward to chatting with you guys down below. So drop me a line, let me know what you have been up to. I did take last week off with the Super Bowl. We just had a lot of things going on. It's spring here in Florida. I think we are in the clear. I just don't see us getting any bad weather, any cold weather. So I have been outside getting some seeds started and planting things and prepping the garden. So there's just a lot to share with you. I'm excited to get into it. I have a few new plants to show you, a couple new fruit trees to show you, a new pot that someone made for me to share with you. I also want to share with you some of the seeds that I plan on planting in the garden this year. So yeah, we have a lot to cover. And so without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I want to share with you guys is the pergola that we're sitting in. This is one of our favorite spots in the entire house to hang out. You guys will have to, don't mind me, I just got back from the gym, and before we went to the gym, we were planting seeds. So I'm a mess, don't mind, but I want to share this space with you. A couple weeks ago, we came out and we started cleaning things up out here. It gets very, very leafy. We have a couple large oak trees in the backyard that dump leaves at a rate in which I can't keep up with. So usually twice a season, I'll come out and really sweep things up and bag all the leaves and things like that. So we were having company coming for the Super Bowl party. John is a big Eagles fan. So we got out here, we cleaned everything up. I moved some of the plants that were inside. I moved them out here, and so I'll show those to you. And we're just gonna walk through, and then I'm gonna take you out to what we call the orchard. But I'm going to give you an update on our fruit trees. Some of them are in bloom and are about to give us some fruit. We also purchased a couple new fruit trees, so I'm going to share those with you. And then we'll spend a little time out here. It's a beautiful day. And then we'll go inside and I'll share a few things with you inside. So let's go. Okay, you're probably going to hear some background noise. The neighbors are getting a new roof put on, so there's not a whole lot I can do about that, but this is what the pergola is looking like. The Monstera did really, really well over the winter. I really had no issues with it. I was a little concerned because we did get some days where the weather got pretty chilly, but she did fine, and I did move my crystallinum out here. So she's now living out here. She just gave me this leaf right before I moved her outside. I have been pretty worried about her because she used to be so majestic. My very first video on YouTube, I shared her and she was massive. And over the course of time, after putting her in this huge pot, she kind of started to suffer a little bit. I think she was in lighting that she didn't care for the lighting that she had. It wasn't enough light. So I decided to move her out here for the spring and summer and mostly fall, just to kind of see how she does. And then down here is my Summer Glory and my Gloriosum, both of which I repotted. So a few videos back, I kind of shared these with you, I think in a favorites video, and I had said that I needed to repot them, and we have done that. The weather is warm enough, things are good, so she got her repot. She definitely suffered some leaf loss over the winter. On the coldest days, I did move her inside, but for the most part, these guys made it all winter long out here in the pergola. And then this one here, my Summer Glory, is the one that really needed a repot. And so we repotted her. You can see the pollen maybe is just out of control right now. We're definitely having a very, very intense pollen bloom. This happens every year at this time, where all of our vehicles, everything is coated in yellow. So that's what they're looking like. I did also, if we come over here, I moved my water dragon, my Anthurium variegated water dragon out here because she also was suffering inside. It seems like she's just gonna prefer to live out here. So I did move her out. I'm hoping that she will adjust and be fine. That's kind of my hope for this girl. And then if we slide over here, I repotted my Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess into this large pot. I'm thinking about chopping her. I definitely think she could use it. She made it through the winter, but I'm just seeing some signs of damage. I did also treat all of my Hoyas with sulfur recently, and I can't really speak about it yet, you guys. I'm gonna continue. This is the second treatment on this particular Hoya. Actually, all the ones out here have been treated twice now with the treatment. So I'm not sure exactly if they had flat mites or not. I just figured I would go through and treat everything. So I will let you guys know if I see like any amazing results from that. And then over here, this is just, oh gosh, I cannot remember the exact name. It's a orchid variation, but I moved her out here, or over here, and then behind this, I have my Gloriosum that is hanging out down here. You can barely see it. And then I moved my Spiritus out here. I have been wondering if my Spiritus Sancti would do better outside, outside. And so we're going to see how that does. She does have a leaf that's going to be coming. You can kind of see that there. And so, yeah, this is kind of experimental. I was struggling with EFN on this plant. So I feel like having her out here, I'll be able to shower her off every time I water her. So I'm thinking it might be a better scenario for her. She has another leaf over here that's just like, it's such a cool plant. I would like to actually put it in a hanging planter. I just haven't found the right one yet. And then I also moved my Anthurium Queen of Hearts out here because I also had issues with her inside in terms of hanging on to leaves for whatever reason. She just didn't seem to care for the inside. This was a really bushy, full Anthurium when I brought her home. And little by little, she's lost quite a few leaves. She does have a new one coming, which is exciting, and that's happened since moving her out here. So already I'm thinking she's much happier out here. And then I moved our little Musa banana out here, which it almost seems like she was doing better inside. So this is one that I may move back inside. I'm not sure. She's not dry, but her leaves don't look so great. She is about to give us a new one, but this is one I definitely want to make sure is good. So it could be getting a little too much light here too quickly because this does get quite a bit of direct light. The only thing that's filtering it is the screen here. So this may be just a bit too bright for her. And yeah, so this is my Jose Bueno. Again, it made it through the winter out here, all on its own, no covering, no nothing. This is the newest leaf. Beautiful, amazing. This is such a great philodendron. I've kind of been steering away from philodendrons, but I gotta say, you guys, this one is totally worth it. I've had some issues with thrips on her in the past, but I recently put her in a larger pot. I put her on this pole, and already I think she's happier. I do need to water everything out here. And then this is my Hoya. I know the lighting is not so hot, but this is Hoya, goodness gracious, Hoya carnosa compacta variegata. Sorry, I was losing my words. And so I did also recently fertilize everything out here as well. So she's looking good, putting out some new growth. I moved Aglaonema, Pictum tricolor out here as well. I think she'll fare better out here. And then I moved my Anthurium jungle giant. I also moved her out here. And I'm thinking this is going to be a better spot. She's just gotten so large, and some of my larger Anthuriums, I said I was going to move them out here, weather permitting, and we're there. So this is one that I decided to move outside. Next to that, I have my Hoya carnosa compacta, the green form, and she's just doing amazing. And then my Anthurium regale, I just chopped one of her leaves. The leaf that I chopped seemed to suffer some cold damage, so I went ahead and chopped it. And it was February of last year that she gave me her first new leaf. I also repotted her into this nice pot, so she's got a little bit more room for those roots to expand. I'm thinking she's just taking a little time to settle, and it'll probably be a matter of time before I get another beautiful leaf. And then, yeah, this is just my Aglaonema. I don't know exactly which one it is, you guys, but I trimmed it up and I moved. This is exciting. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. So this is my Aglaonema, Anthurium papillolaminum cross magnificum. And I had her in the cabinet. You may recall this chopped up, deformed leaf. This is the second time now that I've had to rehab this specific Anthurium. So this was the first leaf that she popped out after that whole rehab process. And then she started putting this one out. This is one of my most favorite Anthuriums. When this is in its prime, it is so beautiful. It's got the venation of the magnificum with the lobes of a papillolaminum, and it is just so, so stunning, you guys. So stunning. So this leaf is freshly emerging. It's still very soft, and what happened was I had it in the cabinet, my Millsbow tall, and the leaf was just, I had no more room. So I moved her out here, and she seems to be doing really, really well. And then over here, I have my huge, if you've been around for a while, you know her. This is my huge Hoya pubicalyx Hawaiian splash. That's on this huge trellis in this terracotta pot. The leaves, when they come in, are absolutely stunning. This is another one that I traded with the sulfur, and it's unfortunate that everything is covered in pollen right now, but I will come give everything a shower. And yeah, she's just, it's hard to even get a full shot of her because she's just absolutely massive. And then this is my Hoya Chelsea. You can kind of see the sulfur hanging out on these leaves. And this is Hoya Chelsea. I moved her from, basically I moved the Crimson Princess and this one. I kind of just swapped the two, so we're gonna see how that goes. And then I also repotted my, this is my, what is this, fishbone cactus, is that what we call it? It wasn't doing well. It has really never done anything for me, so I put it in a hanging pot, some fresh soil, and I'm gonna see how it does hanging. I usually have pretty good luck with jungle cacti, but for some reason this one just, it never really did a whole lot for me. So we're gonna see over the course of summer how this goes. But for now, that's pretty much what I have going on in the pergola. I do have some more space for a couple more of my Anthuriums if I decide that I need to, you know, make more room inside. Down here, I have a couple more Hoyas that are not looking so hot. So I'm going to propagate what I can. This is Hoya lacunosa. I'm gonna propagate what I can off of this, and this is my Hoya Bertoniae. I already took some cuttings of this one, but I figure I'm gonna go ahead and just continue to chop it up, and that will relieve two hanging pots for me to kind of put something else in. because this is just too big of a pot for what I have here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and chop these, see what I get. This one, I don't know, you guys. There's a few vines in here that are salvageable, like I can definitely salvage this, but I don't know. I have never really done that well with Lacunosa. I'm gonna try it again. We'll see what happens. This was a big box store find, so it's not like super devastating if it doesn't make it, but that's just kind of how it goes with me. With big box Hoyas, I usually end up having to restart them for whatever reason. Whether I repot them right away or I don't, this one I didn't, and it's still suffering. So, yep, I did treat it with the sulfur. Maybe it didn't like that. It did live in the bathroom for a couple weeks during the depths of cold, so perhaps it didn't like that. Either way, I'm going to prop it, and then this is a Dieffenbachia that I just chopped it to start over. It was really cold damaged, and yeah, we'll see what goes on there. But this is pretty much what we have going on in here now. I figure I'll update you guys on my fiddle leaf fig. If you've been around, you've seen her. She's absolutely crazy, this plant. I have had her now, I think this is my second winter, and this will be the third year with her. She's just amazing. I can't get over how much I love this plant. It's really special to me. I got it from Walmart actually as a rehab. I paid $23 for it. It had just a few leaves on it. I brought it home, put it outside, and it absolutely loves this space. The branches we've actually had to tie together because if we don't, it just totally takes over this whole space. So yeah, she made it over the winter really well. I didn't cover her this year. I usually always cover her, and it's just too big now. It's just too big. So I kind of was like, well, I hope you do okay, and she did. She's doing all right. So we were fortunate this year. We did not get a hard frost or a hard freeze. And so now we can get into the seeds that I have started for the garden in the back. The garden still needs a ton of work. It needs to be totally cleaned up. I haven't had time yet, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna get some starts going in these little prop boxes, which these you can find on Amazon, and they come in really, really handy. It's just gonna be a bunch of dirt, but I'll tell you what I have going. So I have some sweet peppers, some cucumber, some yellow squash. I've got a couple Roma tomatoes, some beets, and some summer squash in this box. So that's that. And then in this box, I've got, let's see, woo! I've got some bunching onions, some radishes, some cabbage, some garden chives. So that's kind of what's going on in here. And it's really not much of anything to see at this point because I literally just planted them. We have some broccoli, spinach, and kale. And then over here, my neighbor gave us some cilantro starts, and I have some tarragon that I'm starting in that pot there. And then she gave us, I think that little pot down there, right there, I think she gave us that as well, which is kale, I believe, like a starter of kale. But yeah, that's kind of what I have started so far for seeds. And then I'll kind of walk you through some of the seeds that I want to plant in addition to this for the garden this year. So in addition to all of our other fruit trees, we just found this one. This is, dun, 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 a plum tree. I'm very excited about this. We found this at Home Depot for $40, and she's already in bloom. Look how pretty, you guys. Look how pretty these flowers are. They are so sweet, so, so sweet. I saw some bees, actually honeybees earlier swarming about, which is a good sign. But what I love about this, and I didn't know, is this tree goes dormant, which is perfect for our weather. I know that we're in Florida and this is tropical, but we do have years that it freezes pretty hard, and so I'll never have to worry about that with this tree, and it's just doing amazing. We just put it in this whiskey barrel pot, and she'll live here for the first, I'll probably keep her all summer in here and then all winter, and then probably next spring is when we'll actually put her in the ground. That's kind of what we like to do with our trees. We like to start them in pots, get them established to this area. It's also easier for me to keep on top of watering, being as though it's right here, right literally by the hose. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to see what the fruit looks like. Also, we had an issue last year with our peach tree. I'll show you her in a minute. With the squirrels. The squirrels totally raided our peach tree, and we got 0 peaches because in a matter of 24 hours they came and they took everything. So hopefully, being as though it's closer to the pergola, we won't have that issue. And then we also picked up a second peach tree. So this is a little peach tree, the baby. This is what our large, big peach tree looked like when we first got it. So I have no doubt that this is going to do absolutely incredible. It's going to take off and do amazing things. But you can see there's some little tiny baby peaches, you guys. And again, this is one that goes dormant. So not only are they absolutely beautiful in spring to look at, but they do produce amazingly well. In fact, our peach tree that started out just like this, that I will show you in a moment, has literally been our biggest producer. Like I said, the squirrels got all of it last year. I'm hoping that we'll be able to avoid that this year, but couldn't resist. For $40, we were like, you know what, let's just add a second one since it's such a good producer for us. And so yeah, these girls will grow up together until we decide to put them in the ground. This is kind of a back view of the pergola. Just a different viewpoint for you. And then over here on the fence line, we need to pressure wash the fence. That is on our list to do, is our, as we call it, orchard. So I'm going to walk you through these trees. Now, I recently fertilized them and I recently sprayed them all down just with my homemade mix of Castile soap and alcohol, just to kind of get rid of any buggies or leaf miners or anything that might be going on. You can see there's a ton of growth coming in. This is a mandarin tree, and this is her second spring. Is it mandarin or tangelo? Let's see. Nope, I'm sorry, tangelo. So yeah, it looks like she's bouncing back. She's got some new growth. I did just fertilize. She's already looking a little bit better. They were looking pretty yellow, definitely hungry. So that's her. And then next to that, we have a variegated lemon tree who, no, this isn't variegated lemon. Sorry, this might be the mandarin. I gotta get it together, you guys. No, grapefruit. See, I don't even know what I have going on. This is our grapefruit tree. This one actually we got on discount. This was kind of like a rehab find from Lowe's, and already I'm seeing a bunch of new growth just from fertilizing. I think I fertilized last week. So, you know, they look a little rough. Keep in mind, they've had to get through the winter. So that's the two of them together. And then this is our variegated lemon. She gave us 2 lemons last year, which obviously isn't much to write home about. And it is looking a little worse for wear. You can see a lot of, you know, leggy bits. But she does have new growth coming. I know the lighting isn't great, you guys. I'm sorry about that. It was a beautiful sunny day, and now it's very overcast. But you can see we have new growth coming. We have new growth. It's just taking time. Looks like we're going to have some blossoms as well. And my goal this year is to get these trees looking amazing and feeling amazing, staying on top of spraying them. I've learned a lot about citrus trees and that they really require quite a bit of attention. Sorry about the plane overhead. We live pretty close to an airport. But they require quite a bit of attention. Leaf miners are a big issue with my citrus, at least, and so I feel like I need to do better about spraying them and being on top of spraying. The thing is I don't want to use anything super harsh because we are trying to attract pollinators to the backyard, especially, you know, trying to grow in the garden. But I have no doubt this is going to come around. This is, like I said, we planted all of these at the same time for the most part. So this is their second spring in the ground. By now, they should have pretty well established themselves. It's just a matter of putting on growth. And then next to that, we have our Barbados cherry. Now this one has been absolutely incredible for growing, like just for production, growth. The flowers are beautiful and it is so cute to see the little cherries hanging. Unfortunately, there's none on now, but we will have some. We will definitely have some, especially, you know, I just fertilized with a specific fertilizer, but I will come back through maybe in a month or so and I'll re-fertilize with something a little bit more rapid growth and, or rapid, what's the word I'm looking for? Just, I released a slow release, and so I'll put something down that's a little bit more fast acting. Usually when I do that, I'll see growth pretty much, or cherries immediately. But yeah, you can see, being as though we've potted these or planted them all at the same time, this one's really done very well. It's got a little bit of a lean. We need to kind of do something about that. I would like to stake this up. But it's been a wonderful tree and really, really happy to have it. It's beautiful. It produces really well. Yeah, that's just kind of where we are at the moment. And then right here, this is our mango tree, you guys. And it has gotten absolutely massive. In fact, we just trimmed a bunch. So all of this over here, if you can see that pile of brush, that's all from the mango tree, and those were all branches that had no flower spike, so also impeding into the neighbor's yard. So we went ahead and cut all of that off, and it is a ton, you guys, a ton. But yeah, this is what she's looking like now, and these are her beautiful flower spikes, and she's got a ton of them. I'm thinking this year we'll have a really nice harvest. That's my hope. Last year didn't go so well. It did produce some, but not as much as we've had in years prior. But we really had a mild winter, and you can see the spikes, they go all the way up. Those will produce smaller mangoes. The ones down here at the bottom of the tree, these are the big juicy mangoes. And then this is the peach tree that started out just like the other one. I know there's not a whole lot going on in terms of leaves, but it's coming. It is definitely coming. You can see all of the new growth. And there's a little baby peach, a tiny baby peach. All these blossoms. It's really just absolutely beautiful. This does need to be cut back some, and we do plan on doing that. I won't do it while it's producing, I'll wait, but yeah, it's still early also, so we should get some more blossoms. And then back there is 2 pineapples. I need to get in here and kind of clean everything out, but we do have a couple pineapple plants back there that have already produced pineapples, and they were just from pineapples that we bought from the store and planted in the ground. Now I read that once the plant produces the pineapple, it typically dies off, but will put out a pup. Now ours never died off, so I don't know if this is going to produce fruit again. If you guys know, let me know. But I do have 2 others that need to go in the ground that have not produced plants yet, or fruit yet. So There's some sun. Look how pretty, you guys. So this is the last kind of part of the yard. We do have a lime tree that's on the other side of the yard, but John just came through. He weed whacked and he cut the grass. This was an apple tree. It did not make it. I don't know. It just didn't make it. It's supposed to be an apple that is okay for Florida, but I don't know. It didn't take. We have another variegated lemon. And again, I did just recently fertilize all of these, so hopefully we'll start to see some growth this year. This is our avocado tree. Bunch of new growth. Very exciting. These are younger than the other trees. These were planted last spring. And then these are pear trees. John swears that these aren't going to make it, and I keep telling him that they are. See, there is life. Never give up. Never give up. And plus I did the scratch test and it did show green. So I think these guys are going to be fine. This one is, see, there's growth there. Hood pear. And then this one is called Florida Home. And I don't see any sign yet of green, but it's definitely still alive. And I'm hoping that it's going to be fine. Right now they just look like sticks. And then over here we have a couple orange trees. So this one is, I think they're the same actually. Do I have the specific variety? I do. It's over here. Sorry. We do have some oranges on it. Okay, red navel. So red navel, it's loaded in blossoms and they smell so good, you guys. When this flowers, it smells so good. But yeah, we have a bunch of flowers on, so she's doing good. And then this one here suffered a little bit more during the transplant than the other one, but she's doing all right. She's got blossoms. She's got some new growth coming. New growth everywhere. So I think these girls are going to be fine. I'm going to continue to water them. So yeah, that's kind of this line of trees. Our hope is that one day these will all be big and beautiful and luscious and growing amazing. And then this is a little garden box that we just put together. John found this box at Lowe's on clearance for 30 bucks. So we bought it, and he had a vision because this is the living room. Sorry, there's just rust. It's just the way it is. We live in Florida and that's what our water is like. But this is the living room window. You can kind of maybe see some of the plants that I have in the sill. And he wanted to be able to sit on the couch and be able to see some pretty flowers outside. Plus we thought maybe bringing some pollinators to this side of the house with the trees would be a good idea. So he picked out the flowers and I put them all in. We did add some herbs. So we do have some oregano, some parsley, and some little garlic chives. This is peppermint. So we do have a few herbs in here in addition to flowers, just some annuals, some pansies, some Dusty Miller, a couple petunias, and salvia because the bees absolutely love the salvia. And so yeah, that's kind of, it's just started, you know, so it's got to fill in a little bit, but I'm happy to have some herbs over here. And if the herbs do well, I may just make this an herb box and continue to plant some tarragon. Some of the starter herbs that I'm planning on starting, I may just put them in this box. Instead of doing annuals continuously, I may try to just keep this as an herb box. Things seem to grow really well on this side of the house, so that's that. So taking you out to the garden, this is what I'm up against. Our pergola actually fell over. Believe it or not, this did not happen during the hurricane. It stood solid through the hurricanes, both of them that we had. And a few weeks back, maybe a month back, we had some really bad gusty wind and it just toppled over. So our next project is to reinforce. It kind of stood a little bit too high from the get-go, so we're going to trim off the bottom that's obviously rotted, and we're going to reinforce that with probably some metal stake or whatever. John has the plan. I'm just going to let him do it. But yeah, so I have a lot of work, you guys. I mean, this is what I mean by the leaves. I have so much work. I do have some things that have overwintered. I have a couple pepper plants that have overwintered. I have some carrots in the box that have overwintered. So there are some things. There, the 2 pineapple plants I mentioned. I have a sweet potato that I tossed back into the bed, and it looks like some squirrels or something has found it and decided to make it a snack. Usually back there is where I plant the cucumbers, so I do have some starting. I'm just, like I said, I need to get out here. I need to get rid of all of these leaves, clean everything up, and then hopefully by that time my starts will be ready and we'll have this back up and standing. But right now it's just a mess. It's a total mess back here. But when I have this going, it is a beautiful addition to the yard, and we really enjoy coming out here and just hanging out. So I am looking forward to getting this going. And then over here on this edge, I have a bunch of perennials that serve as pollinators that are just kind of starting to find their way back from winter. So once we get this standing and I get this all tidied up, I'll bring you guys back out and I'll kind of show you the progress. But I just thought I would share with you where we're at. I mean, my lettuce boxes are a mess. Everything is a mess out here. So my goal is to get it tidied. I'll bring you through once I've done that. And yeah, you can see all of my tags still in from the pepper plants that like the different varieties. It looks like one of my bell peppers made it. Yeah, there's some things that survived, some things didn't. We'll see. And then a couple videos back, I told you guys that I had plans this year, or hopes of perhaps making a little tropical paradise back here, a place where I could put some of my overgrown tropicals where they would still get enough shade. So we do have this tree and this oak tree that provides quite a bit of shade. So what I need to do is rip up all of this polka dot plant, as you can see. All this polka dot plant. This stuff is pretty invasive down here. You can see that it's already coming back. So I need to rip up as much of this as I can. And the only issue is actually getting through this rock. When it comes to planting things, the things that I have planted in here, it was a chore busting through all of this rock. But I thought maybe I could do like what I've done here with this philodendron goldii, which has now been renamed. It's got some definite winter damage because I did not move this in. But I'm thinking I could just keep things in pots and kind of place it strategically, you know, that way in winter I can bring things in. It's looking like a mess right now, but I have a philodendron atabapoense that's also seen quite a bit of damage. Hopefully it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I was kind of experimenting this year. The planes are crazy, you guys. I'm sorry about that. It's going to be one every 7 seconds. That's why it's hard for me to film out here. But yeah, these were kind of my experimental aroids, just kind of experimenting with how they would do over the winter out here, and not so great, but they're not dead, so I have hope. And then hanging over there is our staghorn fern. It's kind of hard to see it. It also needs a little bit of love. So this is another project area. I need to get in here. I need to just clean this up. And then my hope is to bring some of my overgrown tropicals out here and just let them enjoy the summer. If I keep them in pots, I can always bring them back inside if it gets too cold. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. Our passion fruit vines are coming back, which is exciting. So I need to get in here and kind of rip off all these old vines because last year this looked incredible. So yeah, that's that. And then over here is our lime tree, which we just fertilized. So hopefully, now this is on year 3, so it's really starting to come in. So it's a year ahead of the row of trees that I showed you. So, I mean, it's really grown a lot over last year, and it's got a ton of new growth. I'm hoping this is the year that we're gonna finally start seeing some limes on this thing. And then I have a couple bananas, actually 3 banana trees. Now, this one is a dwarf Cavendish. It's looking very sad right now, but it did produce bananas for us last year. And unfortunately, the cold just did it in. But we have some pups here, and I have no doubt that these pups are gonna come back and look amazing. This is I believe this is called a vanilla ice cream banana. So I need to get in here. I need to cut off this brown. We have a new frond. And then this is a red Siam. Again, looking pretty sad, but there's hope. There is hope. Bananas absolutely hate the cold. This is all a mess over here. All this needs to be cleaned up. I'm giving you guys all of my dirty sins. But yeah, that's where we're at. You know, it's spring. I'm excited to get in here and get my hands dirty. And yeah, between the houseplants and all of this, it's kind of a full-time job, you guys. Okay, guys, we are back inside now. And I have this pot here, which, let's talk about this first. So I found this pot at the Dollar Tree for $5. And I mean, this is a pretty solid size pot. I'm not exactly 100% sure what I'm gonna put in it, but it is a self-watering little pot. And I just thought I would share that with you guys because I thought it was a really good price, and it seems to be pretty decent quality. It's probably not something that, like John was saying, that will do well like baking in the Florida sun. But I think for a pergola pot, it will be just fine. And we all know pots can be incredibly expensive, so I just thought I would share that with you. And then I did pick up some tags also. So I got some tags from the Dollar Tree. They come in a 10-pack for $1.25. These come super handy for just like tagging your plants, or even if you're starting a garden, it's the cheapest place that you will find them. And honestly, the quality is pretty solid. I usually will reuse them as many times as I can, so I'll just kind of like write small if it's for the garden and then scratch it out and like put whatever new plant. But anyways, I picked up some of those. And then I picked up a couple of these. So these are really handy to have around. They're just, it's called planter pot chain. But it's basically a, let me open one up. I'm sure you guys have seen these, but they come in handy for, in here, I can hang this from the curtain rod, or I can hang from, or out in the pergola, but it has these little clips and you can just clip it to a pot. So I just need to pick up a couple pots for these, but those come in handy. I picked up 2 of those, and then I'm gonna show you guys some of the seeds that I still plan on sowing for the garden. We'll just kind of skim through these really quickly. So I've got some sweet peppers, which this is actually May through June, so I won't be sowing those right away, but I do plan on adding those to the garden, as well as watermelon, some Roma tomatoes, which I've already started a couple Romas, but I thought I would get a second pack. It's actually May through June, but because it gets so hot down here, I thought I would try starting my tomatoes a little bit earlier and just kind of see how that goes. Some parsley. Again, May through June. I do want to try some cauliflower this year, so I picked up some of that. And then some thyme, some more parsley, and some more thyme. And then I picked up some beefsteak tomatoes. I picked up a cantaloupe and cherry tomato. This is another basil. I don't know if I mentioned basil. Sometimes I'll buy 2 packs just to have like a backup in case something doesn't work out, but another basil, and then these are cherry tomatoes. I do really well with cherry tomatoes. I've not had the best of luck with regular tomatoes, but again, I started my garden last year in March, so I am ahead of the game this year in terms of getting my starts going. So I'm hoping that due to the humidity and due to the oppressive heat down here in Florida, starting some of this early might actually work out in my favor. So these are all experimental. I find them at the Dollar Tree again, 4 for $1.25, which is a really good deal. I went to Lowe's and I was shocked at how expensive seeds are. They wanted anywhere from $1.99 to $3 for a pack of seeds. So last year I started the entire garden off Dollar Tree seeds, and I had some success. It was my very first garden, so I did learn a lot. I plan on doing better this year, just from having, learned what I learned last year. And yeah, I think starting early is definitely going to help a lot. And I also learned that you do not need to use an entire pack of seeds in one go. I didn't know that. So if you're new to gardening and you're unsure, honestly, just start with 4 or 5 seeds. You really don't need a lot. Plus, if it does well, like for example, I planted quite a few cherry tomatoes, and we had a cherry tomato that ended up doing so well that just that one plant supplied enough cherry tomatoes for John and I for the entire season. In fact, we ended up having more than enough, and I believe I was giving them away because it grew. It was crazy how big it got. So that is definitely something that I learned. My cucumbers did really well last year. I planted far too many of them. So that's another thing. You really only need probably 3 or 4 seeds. Just kind of see how it goes. They honestly germinate pretty quickly, and you'll kind of know like what kind of yield you're expected to get once they germinate. And yeah, so that's what I have going on for the garden. I'm really excited about it. And then so at the Super Bowl party, John's cousin had someone over. She brought someone, and he does pop art. And I had one of these ceramic containers from the Dollar Tree. I think I've shown these to you guys before, but I paid $1.25 for them anyways. And it's just a cute little ceramic vessel that I had anticipated like drawing myself, but I am no artiste. So he does pop art, and I asked him if he would draw me like some monstera leaves. So this is what he came up with. He kind of added my name in this one, and then he dated it on the bottom, the occasion, which was really cool. And I found these markers, you guys, at Lowe's. If you need a good marker, like a really, like these put Sharpie to shame. So these are from Cobalt, and they're just job site markers. That's what they're called. But it looks just like a Sharpie. Like the tip is just like a Sharpie. But these are like incredibly durable. And I think I got it like a 12 pack. It came with red, black, green, and blue. I got them during the holidays. I think I paid like $5 for the pack. I don't know how much they run normally, like if you were to just go in and pick them up, but incredible markers. So if you're like a fan of just drawing on your terracotta pots, or you're just looking for some good markers, I thought I would share these with you. But yeah, my plan for this guy is to probably just put like a cute little Hoya in here or something. But I was excited about it, and I thought it was so cute, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And then really the last thing that I have to talk to you guys about this week is the new plants that I've got. So I want to say I have 6 new plants to share with you. So I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to go over them with you and talk about my why, because this year I did talk about wanting to scale back on the amount of plants that I bring in. mainly because the planty corner is very overloaded as is. I don't have a lot of space. I know that I'm going to be putting some things outside, and I already have put some things outside. I do have another cabinet over there that's more of like a china cabinet that I have. It was my very first cabinet, so it is equipped for plants. I do need to add a fan in it because I took the fans that I had in there and I've put them in these cabinets, but I do have some space in there for like starting things and things like that. I can move a lot of my propagations that are taking up space in these cabinets to that cabinet, and they will do fine. But I've really been trying to be mindful about the plants that I'm bringing in. So that being said, let me show you what I got, and I'll talk you through my why, and we'll get into it. Okay, so the first two are actually lithops, and okay. This time last year, we were in Arizona, and it's actually pretty much when I first started my channel. I had only had my channel for about a month at this point, and we went to the Desert Botanical Gardens in Arizona, and they had these kind of just growing, like how they would grow in the wild, and I fell in love with them. I thought they were just the most cutest little things I had ever seen. So last year when we came back, I did purchase a couple lithops, and I definitely did not do so well with them. So this year I decided to try again, but I am going to eliminate watering. Like, I am going to be so very careful with the amount of water. I think I overwatered them, and because they got all mushy and soggy, but this is the first one. So cute, and I think he just looks so darling in this little terracotta that's like a little weathered and a little patinaed. It did recently flower, as you can see, but I love these, you guys. I think they are so cute. And then this is the other one. I do have a couple stones, crystals. We do collect crystals as well. So this is just a labradorite heart. Labradorite is one of my most favorites, so just a little labradorite. And then this is a moonstone heart that John and I actually tumbled. We tumbled a bunch of rocks when we first started dating, because he loves rocks, I love rocks. It's something that actually kind of brought us together. But he bought a bunch of rough rock online, and we tumbled them. So it was like one of the first things that we did together, and this is one of the moonstone pieces that came out like shaped like a heart. So I've held on to it ever since. And then I just stuck them in this pot, but this is the other one that I got. So super cute. I don't know the exact, like, they're very vague. Like, this one was labeled as lithops, and this one was labeled as mimicry plant. So, but yeah, I think there's something so like prehistoric looking about them, and they just bring me a ton of joy. So I'm hoping that I do a good job with these and they do all right. I wouldn't mind getting one more. They had one more like type at Lowe's, and it was super duper cute, but I think I paid, actually John got these for me. I think they were like $7 or $8 a piece, so I just wanted to kind of like stretch it out a little bit, see how I do with these two, and if in a month or so they're doing all right, I will get another. I was so sad that I missed the Walmart Costa drop of all those rare cacti that they had. I wanted the like snowball one, and they got them here, but they were all picked over by the time I got to them. So yeah, that's these two. Okay, so the next two I got are a couple of Anthuriums, and the first one I got is Anthurium Michelle crossed crystallinum. I did feature these in my last video, but for some reason that video didn't seem to do so well, so I don't know how many of you got to see these, and so anyways, I'm going to share them again. I got them the 1st of February, so very recently. And like I said, this is Anthurium Michelle crossed crystallinum. Now, I have been wanting an Anthurium Dock Block Michelle for a long time. I missed the Home Depot drop. I know that Blue Moon has a couple, and I did ask her to hold one for me. I plan on seeing them very soon, so I'm hoping that she will do that. And I'm hoping that I'll have my very first dock block Michelle. But in the meantime, this was 25 bucks. I love crystallinum so much. I think crystallinum, it was my very first Anthurium, and it's really, I think, one of the most beautiful. So to have that paired with dock block Michelle, I think would be stunning. So she's just a little wee tot, you know, a little tiny baby. But I have big hopes for her. She's got a new leaf coming, and I cannot wait to see what that emergent looks like, because they didn't have any that were emerging when I was there. They were all kind of at the same spot. So really excited to see where this goes. I can already see some really beautiful veination, and yeah, I'm just excited to see that emergent. So I got that one. And then this one really has no business being here. This is kind of like one of those that it's not on my wish list. It was just like I saw it, and you know how it goes, you guys. But what did make me purchase this one is the shape of the leaf. So this is Anthurium crystallinum crossed long dark leaf cross crystallinum. Okay, that's a mouthful, but it was mainly this leaf right here. I don't have anything in my collection that's like this, that's got this really elongated leaf. The only thing that I can say is similar would be my Zara, but this is definitely, the lobes on this are definitely different than my Zara, and I do believe that this is going to be much darker than my Zara, I have a feeling. So yeah, that leaf is so beautiful, you guys. I really couldn't resist. It was emerging, this leaf was emerging when I brought it home, so I did repot it into, they were in these teeny tiny little pots. The dogs are probably gonna come say hi. So we have some time before I need to repot it, probably not a ton of time, they grow so quickly, but yeah, I mean, it will be a matter of time before we see another leaf here, but yes, and I mean, at the end of the day, this was $10. That's probably another reason why I was like, oh, okay, it's 10 bucks. Like, we can't pass it up. So I think she's so cute. I'm excited to see where that goes. Another exciting thing I want to share with you guys is I finally have my first Hoya bloom. I cannot even believe it, but my Hoya Bella here, which is growing all the way down here, is finally giving me my first Hoya bloom, and it's not quite open yet. I'm hoping that it will be around, maybe for the next video I'll be able to show you guys the actual flowers, but if you've been around, you know that I have quite a few Hoyas and none of them have ever given me a bloom. So you cannot imagine how excited I was when I saw this happening. Now, this specific Hoya Bella has given me a couple peduncles in the past, but they've all aborted for one reason or another. I'm not sure why. It just seems like she's really happy in this spot, and she's really taken into her own here. And so yeah, and then this one, my variegated one, has a peduncle coming as well. So I don't know if this is gonna actually come to fruition. It seems pretty solid on there, but I may actually have 2 blooms coming. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. It's pretty amazing. I totally get the hype around Hoya blooms, and I've been really sad that I've never had any luck with it. But I mean, I love the foliage on Hoyas nonetheless. So to see that, if you remember, I had repotted this not so long ago, and I had mentioned in that video during the repot that I was so nervous because sometimes when I repot Hoyas, they actually freak out and they go crazy. But this one took really well. It had no issues. It's giving me growth like crazy. It's grown a ton since being in this pot. So yeah, I think it was like maybe a month ago I repotted this. So yeah, you guys, really, really exciting. Okay, and then the last 2 that I have are a couple Hoyas. I'm all about Hoyas. Like, I don't know, the last year and a half, I've really, really been just gravitating towards Hoyas. I think it's because they grow really well for me. I mean, I do run into issues here and there where I may have to restart them or whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, I seem to do pretty well with Hoyas. And I feel like it's one of those things where they're small. Like, you can start them in a tiny pot and they don't grow at the rate of which Anthuriums grow. They don't take up the space that Anthuriums take up, even philodendrons. They're pretty low maintenance. So I'm all about Hoyas. I really don't have a cap on Hoyas. I feel like also there's always somewhere that I can put them, even outside. I can hang them from the trees outside and they will be fine. So I found 2 at Home Depot recently, and I also got another new pot that I can't wait to show you guys. So if you've been around, you know I made my own variation of this pot back when Modern Aqua released them. I think it was like last year. This little cute swing pot. So I finally picked up a swing pot. The one that I made is out of air dry clay, and it's cute. It's very cute, but it's, this is so much cuter. So I finally picked up a little swing pot, and it's actually the perfect size for this little Hoya that I picked up, which I'll go ahead and take it out so you guys can kind of get a better look. But this is Hoya gracilis. And I just thought it was so cute. This is from Proven Winners, and it was definitely, I think, like $6 from Home Depot. I couldn't pass it up, you guys. I liked the splashiness, and I just thought he was darling. Yeah, it was $5.98. So cute, so cute. And I put him right in here, and he's now hanging in the window, looking so cute. I think I want to pick up one more of these pots to kind of, I am about symmetry. So where I have it hanging, I feel like it would look so cute if I had one more like on the other side. So yes, that's him looking so cute. I am enamored by it. I do need to like remove this tag. I don't plan on keeping this scenario like this, but I just got these. So that's that. And then in the same time, I found this little Hoya Bertonier. They're calling it Hoya Sea Stones. I have no idea why. This is Hoya Bertonier, intervariegated or variegated. And yeah, super excited to have that. I have actually wanted the variegated Hoya Bertonier because I have just the green form. I showed it actually to you earlier. It wasn't looking so good. I need to finish propagating that pot. But I do have some props from that mother plant I've already got started. So yeah, I think it's fun to have the variegated version, and I have him just in this window right over here. I don't actually have this in any kind of cute pot yet, so I need to get this in a cute pot. Maybe, I thought this one, but I think it's too big. I think the pot's too big. Yeah, it's too big. And I'm not so sure I want to, like, this has no drainage, so I definitely want to have it in a pot with drainage. I just feel like I do better with Hoyas in drainage. And yeah, I thought the variegation was really striking on this guy, and he already had like, I feel like I need to prop him because it seems like all of the vines that had kind of started, or the growth points that had activated, it kind of seems like they've withered out, which is to be expected just with acclimating and all of that. So I think I'll take a couple props from it, get it to spur on some new growth, and then once I get these propagated and rooted, I will add them back to the pot. So that's that. Super duper cute. And keep your eyes out at Lowe's, you guys, or I'm sorry, Home Depot, because that's where I found them. They also had, I think they had pubic calyx. I think they had Carnosa Crimson Princess. But the other ones that they had, I already have. So you can't beat the price, and I just think they're so charming in these little tiny pots. So cute. So cute. So that's it, you guys. That's all I have for you this week. Sorry I missed last week. There was just too much going on and I just needed a break. But yeah, excited to be back. It's exciting. Spring is here. I've said exciting 27,000 times in this video, but that's just overall how I feel. Spring is my favorite time of year. I know a lot of people are into the holidays and fall. I like fall, but I don't know. Since I've been into plants, spring has really been where it's at for me. It's kind of like sign of new things to come and fresh beginnings. And it's also for Florida the best time of year for weather, because it does get so hot in the summer months that it becomes difficult to be outside. But yeah, anyway, I'm happy, looking forward to what's to come. I will be doing a updated houseplant tour within the next month or two as I kind of move things around and figure out what's going to be living outside and all of that. I will definitely do an updated houseplant tour. I'm excited for that. And yeah, pretty soon it'll be February favorites and we'll be into March, you guys. It's crazy, but stick around. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the garden updates and all of that. It's my second year. I learned a lot last year, so hopefully this year I'll have some tips to share. And yeah, I'll see you guys really soon. Have a good week. Bye.